So you found out. Someone whispered. Someone slipped. Someone forwarded the wrong screenshot to the wrong person, and now the picture is clear. People you trusted, people you tolerated, people you barely registered as relevant. They've been carving you up in rooms you weren't invited to. The instinct now is to react, to confront, to explain, to send the long message at 1 in the morning that begins with, "I just heard," and ends with you looking like the one who lost composure. That instinct is the trap. What follows is not advice. It is a code. 5 laws for the moment your name enters mouths it was never meant to enter. Read them slowly. They are not designed to make you feel better. They are designed to make you operate better, which is a different thing entirely, and the only thing that actually matters once the whispering starts.
Law 1. Do not chase the source. Tracking down who said what is the first move of someone who has already lost. You will spend 3 days, maybe a week, maybe a month assembling the puzzle. Who told whom, who heard it second, who laughed and who stayed quiet. And at the end of that investigation, you will have exactly what you started with, the knowledge that people talked. Nothing changes. The hours are gone. Your focus is shredded. Your work suffered while you played detective. And the people who were talking about you have now graduated to talking about how obsessed you've become with what they said. The investigation itself becomes the new material. Every text you send asking, "Did she really say that?" gets screenshotted. Every careful question you float to a mutual friend gets reported back. You think you're gathering intelligence. You are providing it. The chase confirms that the whisper landed, which was the entire point of the whisper to begin with. Refuse the chase. Let the source stay buried. Law 2. Continue building in plain sight. Movement is the only answer that cannot be misquoted. While they are constructing their version of you in private, you construct the real version in public. Through the work, through the calendar, through the visible weight of what you are actually doing with your days. Not performance. Not the curated post designed to communicate, "I'm thriving," to people you pretend not to think about. Performance reads as a response, and a response is a tell. What I mean is the quieter thing, showing up to the meeting prepared, shipping the project on the deadline you set, taking the call, finishing the manuscript, training for the thing, closing the deal. The whispers describe a person who does not exist. Your output describes the person who does. Over 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, one of those portraits accumulates evidence, and the other accumulates dust. The talkers run out of new material because you stopped feeding them old material. Build loud through work and quiet through mouth. Law 3. Tell no one how much it hurts. The wound is real. Pretending it isn't is a different kind of weakness. The kind that calcifies into something worse than honesty about pain. But there is a sharp difference between feeling the cut and announcing it. You can sit with it. You can bleed in private. You can tell one person, one whose loyalty you have tested over years. Not the friend who feels close right now, because they happen to be available right now. What you cannot do is process it across your network. Every person you confide in becomes a node, and nodes leak. Not always out of malice. Sometimes out of concern, sometimes out of a careless sentence at a dinner. Sometimes because they thought you wouldn't mind if they told their partner who told their coworker. The story of your hurt becomes its own piece of gossip. And now there are 2 narratives running parallel: what they said about you and how badly it got to you. The second one is worse. Bleed where no one is watching. Law 4. Refuse to defend the version of yourself they invented. When the rumor reaches you in detail, the temptation is to dismantle it line by line, to write the response, draft the explanation, hold the meeting where you walk through what actually happened. Do not. Defending a false version of yourself gives it shape, gives it oxygen, gives it the dignity of being a thing worth addressing. The people who already believe it will not be convinced by your evidence. They chose the story because it served them, and your facts will be reframed as defensiveness. The people who don't believe it didn't need your defense in the first place. You've now alerted them that something is worth examining. You end up litigating a case in front of a jury that wasn't going to convict, while handing the prosecution new exhibits. The version of you they invented dies of starvation when you stop feeding it attention. Your real self continues existing whether they recognize it or not. Let the lie suffocate. Law 5, remember exactly who they were and act accordingly forever. This is the law most people get wrong, because they think the mature move is to forgive and forget and rise above. Rising above does not mean forgetting. It means refusing to retaliate while still refusing to be stupid twice. Write down, mentally, somewhere, the names of the people who spoke about you in rooms they thought you'd never enter. Do not punish them. Do not perform coldness. Smile when you see them. Be civil, be brief. But never again let those people inside the perimeter. They have shown you, with their own mouths, the exact tier of access they deserve, and that tier is acquaintance, not collaborator, not confident, not person you vent to. Their demotion happens silently and permanently. They will sense it eventually and call you distant, changed, cold. You are none of those things. You are simply someone who finally listened the first time they told you who they were. Believe people the first time.
These 5 laws will not stop people from talking about you. Nothing stops that. The bigger you become, the better you do. The more sharply you live, the more talk you generate, and the more of it will be ugly. The point was never silence. The point is that the talk no longer governs you. It happens in rooms you are not in, about a person who does not exist, conducted by people who have already shown you their cards. You walk past those rooms. You keep your hands on your own work, your pain in your own chest, your access list short and your memory long. That is the entire code. Practice it until it stops feeling like discipline and starts feeling like air.